Welcome back. So, today we're going to work on make clean. So the latest day we managed to build, where the hell is this? So we managed to build everything, which is in here. AMD 64 ISO, AMD 64 USB, i386 ISO, and i386 USB. Okay, so it's in here. Wait a moment. So now everything is okay. Yeah. Now everything is okay because we have managed to build the 4 of them. Okay. So what the node says is that everything is built as expected, and we could take a look at more annexes, you know, and try to recreate Rescatux more faithfully. And yeah, and maybe we can start with make clean for now, and we will see how it goes. So make clean. We already asked ChatGPT how to do this, and we should have around here how to do the make clean. So as you can see here, there's the Rescatux builder AMD64, and we wait a second. Yeah, so we are mapping the root with workspace, and then we ask this to be, wait a second, we are mapping root, which I'm not sure what it is, and this is the same thing but more fun from more stuff. So let's try to do this. Where's the clean? Here it is. So let me just check. Phony clean. So this is going to build, to remove workspace will build work, and workspace this, which is the same thing as this. So I should be able to run this thing like this. And let's just add another enter. So here it is. So now we should be able to clean stuff without having too much trouble. Let's test this thing for now and see. Let's see how it goes. Make clean. So look at that. But again, we are missing some stuff in here. So we are missing, you know, by the way, when you run prepare, I need to understand what's wrong with all of that. I mean, I think that when you build, you need to do make clean in order to build again. And this make clean should be dependent on building Rescatux builder AMD64, which does not depend on these directories, isn't it? So the question is that what we actually want to do is to make clean depend on this other one. And how the hell do you do that? How do you manage to make something depend on another one? So space and whatever. So if I do make builder, it tries first to run make bootstrap, then make builder AMD64. So basically what I need to do is clean this. So let me add this thing just in case. So this is make clean from inside Docker. And so what we want to be doing here is this needs to be depending on this one here. So hit diff make clean depends on builder AMD64. So if you make clean, look at that. It depends. Wait a minute. So each time that I run this thing, it creates the Rescatux builder AMD64. That's not actually needed. So there should be another way of doing this. Yeah. Okay, let's ask the ChatGPT to say what it has to say around all of this. So Rescatux development recent. I think this is new. This is updated make file. See code below. So make file this and that. Each time that I try to run make clean, it creates again and again it should somehow detect that it has been built and do not try to build it again if it was already built. And some stuff. What's happening is actually not what you want. You declare phony builder AMD64 that tells make this gadget is never up to date. Always run it. So every time clean depends on builder AMD64, it reveals image even if it already exists. Make the build stateful. Change this and that. Add stamp files. Oh, look at that. Make clean depend on a stamp, not rebuild. It's a real file. Once created, may consider gadget up to date. So builder AMD64 is not rerun. You only rebuild when you delete the stamp or you explicitly force rebuild. Optional better. Detect Docker image instead of a stamp. I don't know. This avoids stamp files entirely. For your use case, Docker heavy build system, use Docker image detection second approach because no stale stamp files reflects real estate images or not. Place nicer with Docker system brew. Bonus tip: important. Your clean target should probably not depend on builder at all. So, clean build via docker run this and that. Why should not depend on builder? Because this thing does not exist. Okay, so it says that you should be detecting the image. Inspect Rescatux builder. Let's take a look to see what the hell does this thing exactly. So I guess that this says this is the right result. Yeah, okay. So AMD64 builder already exists. Okay, so maybe builder AMD64, that's the one that should have this thing. So AMD builder x86. Okay, so it's this one here, isn't it? Let me see. I don't know if I like so much stuff, but for now this should be okay. Let's do the same thing but for i386. So i386, this should be quite straightforward. This platform Linux. Okay. What about this? Okay, nice. So platform is 386, it's not AMD 64, so that's something that needs to be fixed. Platform is 386. Okay, now this makes sense. So, wait a second, I haven't written anything in the chat. And yeah. Let's write here. I'm a human. Ha 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 ha. Should I write everything? Or I don't know. Okay, so make file. So the latest change is going to be the MD64. Let me see. Hit diff cached. Builder. Damn it. What? Builder AMD64 and builder i3 is built only once. Are built only once. Is built only once. And this one is also built only once. Okay, this is a nice commit. So now if I run make clean, it should detect that it already exists and clean stuff, which is nice. Look at that. Look like that. So now we should be able to push all of this. So before going into the next node, which is builder AMD64 should depend on this file being changed. Actually, I'm going to do that, I guess. Let me see. I mean, even if it's not a so this should depend on this file here, and this one here should depend on this one here. So AMD64 builder already exists. Wait a minute. Yeah, but the problem is that you know, maybe I don't like this way of doing this, because if I change Dockerfile thing, it's not going to detect the change because it's just going to expect if this is here or not. So that's not what I actually want to actually do, if I'm not mistaken. So we want to actually build this when we probably want the timestamp thing that we were that we were told to be using, because otherwise, so let me write it. Yeah, this means that we don't want to check if Docker image exists in the first place. Or maybe we do, but you know. So the stamp is done when the build is done. So should we just do that to use the stamp so that it doesn't try to check anything first? So this depends on the stamp, and it should also depend on the other file. So if I modify the other file, then yeah, this is not right. I somehow want to depend on both the stamp and the Docker file method. Well, let me explain and to you what I want, and you reply to me if it makes sense or not. Makes sense or not, or if it can be done. So I want that the where the hell is this? I want that the builder AMD target depends on yes, Docker image being existent. So if the command fails to so if the Docker image inspect command fails, it should reveal it. And at the same time, it should depend on builder Docker file AMD64. So if builder Docker file .amd64 is changed, then the Docker image should also be revealed. Let's see how yes, what you want okay, not in a naive way. You're basically asking for Docker image does not exist, please reveal it, or builder dockerfile.amd is changed. That's subtle problem. Make only understands files and timestamp. It does not understand Docker images. Docker image inspect external state. So you need a bridge between makes world files, Docker world's images. The correct pattern is just stamp plus validation. So we make builder AMD64 depend on stamp, and then we make the stamp to be dependent on the dockerfile.amd64. That makes sense. Then image exists. So case 1, first run, no image, inspect fails, then builds run. Case 2, image exists, Docker file unchanged, a stamp newer than Docker file unchanged. So make does nothing. Okay. Fast. Docker file modify. Dependency triggers rebuild of .stamp. Make runs recipe. Image rebuild. You could force build here if you want. Yeah, but the image is not rebuilt. Image deleted manually. Stamp still exists. Make would skip, but your recipe checks instances rebuilds anyway. The small improvement important. Right now, if Docker file changes, you check, but you don't force rebuild. That's, yeah, so rebuild, and then we force the rebuild. Okay, wait a minute. Image missing building. Docker file change rebuilding. So as I can see here, so either the image missing and we build, or Docker file change and we rebuild. So it's just the ensuring AMD64 builder image is up to date. Even better. Okay, look at that. What you can make fully by hashing the Docker file. No way. Why hashing Wait a second. So builder AMD64 stamp depends on dockerfile.amd64. Then we hash the dockerfile.amd64, and so if the file hash mismatch or missing. So if there is no file or whatever, wait a second. So I guess that this is the builder dockerfile.amd. So you're looking for the hash. Okay, so now I would like to. Oh my god, it works! Finally, this works. They have fixed the branch stuff. Hash to this. Okay. Can you explain to me how the hash part works? I'm having a hard time understanding the if statement. Just to me, step by step. Great question, Phil Mexico. So rebuild of, so it's A, B, or C. So step one, what is hash? Okay, so you've got the hash builder thing. So yeah, okay, you have the hash. What is this? So it's builder AMD64 stamp. Is that right? Now I want to see. Saddle problem, even better pro level. Wait, this stuff, this 1, 2, it's confusing. Okay, I was trying to understand this condition A. So the first one is stamp file missing. Okay, that makes sense. Hash mismatch. Does the store hash match the current Docker file hash? Okay, so this is checking the stamp, which I no longer have the make file because whatever. I hate these things. So where's the make file that they told me to use? So this is the builder AMD64 stamp. That's where we save the hash. And if the stamp does not exist, okay, or if I cannot find the proper hash there, or if it's not there, then we build everything. Okay, otherwise image up to date. Okay, so we need a this one here, builder AMD64 in order to do this. And so yeah, so this needs to be rebuilt. I think I'm going to need a you know, I'm going to need um, okay, let me copy all of this. What I was saying, I'm going to need to rebase this thing to so that I don't have the commit where I add this and that, because otherwise okay, so now we're going to do exactly the same thing here. By the way, this depends on where's the fucking hash. Yeah, the hash. Let me find out the hash, because this was the original thing, but down here we have the pro thing. So the pro one is in here. So we want this as the pro one, and now we can copy and paste so that this is i386. So i386, and this one is 386, and now this should be AMD 64. This dash 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 dash. So yeah, so maybe builder AMD 64 is built once too. That's how I'm going to call this thing, and then we will merge the two commits. So what happens with make clean? Well, look at that. This is going to build it once. It's going to save the SHA-256 thing in here. So now we should have this builder AMD64.stamp, which is the file, and we have the hash thing. And now if I run make clean, it already knows that the Rescatux builder AMD64 is there, and it works as expected. So now I'm very happy because we have this builder stuff that depends on those stamps, and this is much better. And bootstrap thing, so we had this bootstrap thing, and maybe we can rework this thing so that it works always, because right now it's only run when you try to build builder. Although here we have this funny thing that says always run the same thing. Although I thought the funny was something like do not show stuff, be like quiet, but I'm not sure about that. So what does so what means here is that yeah. So it's true that it tries to run stuff again and again, but at the same time, uh, I don't know. I think that because make funny. So according to this, make funny AMD 64, it's already there, so it should not. So maybe it's builder AMD 64. Okay. Anyway, so that's quite good for today. What else do we have here? Yeah, the old OS. Given that you're building a serious system, use the hash-based stamp version. Deterministic, resilient to manual Docker cleanup, avoids stale builds. Turn this into generic micro for all builders so you don't duplicate logic. Oh my god! Are you sure about this? Oh my god. This is too much complex. I mean, I can understand this builder template thing, but then for each arch able, why would I want to do that? Keep your high level target. Funny builder, bootstrap, call builder template arc, evil, this and that. Define builder template. For each arch, I mean, do we have an arch? Yes, we have arch. So I wonder if this is going to work as suspected or not. Because right now, this is too much complex. Okay, okay, let's keep the builder macro, but then let's use builder AMD 64 and builder when possible so that it's easier to read. Use macro for drive, this and that. So platform AMD, Linux AMD 64, Bitfine builder, this and that. What? Instead of always doing, you can do this thing, and shells are already good. Split to save, check. Okay, so platform AMD 64, platform and this and that. In the so platform this. Yeah, look at that. Oh my god. For each arch able. Okay, let me ask. Can we replace for something that uses builder AMD and builder explicitly, so that it's easier to read. Yes, okay. Instead, then use this thing here. Builder template AMD 64, builder template i386. Oh, but you don't use builder whatever. Use it to debug this and that. Final recommend platform. Architectures still use elsewhere. Builder definitions, explicit readable, hybrid option, best of what was. System words are explicit builders. Your explicit. Oh my god, this is too much stuff. So let's try to do this the right way. So let's copy this thing here, which is the builder template thing, which we're going to reuse around here. And I'm not sure a builder. We might use something else later on. We will see. So so around here we can put this builder thing, builder template, and so on. So let me open the make file on the top so that it's easier to read it. So we have this thing, and this is the one that I'm going to be removing. Okay. So once we have removed that line, apparently we can do, yeah, builder this thing, and we can do eval builder template this and that, which should be the same thing as, where the hell is this? Should be the same thing as having here builder AMD 64 and builder i386. Okay. I don't know. Just write this thing. So the question is, why? Is there any way to use builder AMD 64 instead of just AMD 64 here? Or would it make the template too much harder to read? Okay, yes, you can do it, but there's a small design choice to make. Right now, your macro assumes AMD 64. If you pass a builder AMD 64, then everything which make it okay. Parses strings. Option 1, don't do it. Recommended. Keep this thing. Okay. Option 2, clean compromise, best if you want readability. So you've got the builder targets, builder template, and then builder this thing, builder stamp, and I guess that all of this is still past clean arch names. Why? Notice we keep plussing this and that. If you really want builder AMD 64, you can do this. Able call builder template, builder AMD 64, but then your macro becomes ugly. Arch passive builder. Oh my god! And everywhere you must use arch, then you should be doing this thing. This adds a string parsing cognitive overhead harder debugging. You're mixing two concepts, AMD64 and touch name, final conversation. Okay, keep the public interface. Mental model. So what do you mean by keeping? What do you mean by keeping builder AMD64 as the public interface? Okay, so we had the builder AMD. So this is like builder AMD 64, and this is builder i386. Okay, and I think that we can somehow reuse all of these in such a way that this is run or whatever bootstrap. Yeah, because if this and that and whatever, I don't know, bootstrap. Okay, in any case, this should be working. I'll show how I'm going to test it, but this should be working, isn't it? Okay, so apparently it works. Oh, look at that. We have this builder dot stamp, so we need to do this thing. So builder AMD64 is build 1, so this is number 3. Do we have a hit ignore thing? We don't have a hit ignore thing. Let's ask generate I mean, I'm not sure if we would need to use Rescatux, but you know, hit ignore file for stamp files or make file. Make file dot stamp files. Here's a simple let's do it like this. Ignoring. I don't think this is going to be a problem. So so if we are here, builder AMD stamp. I think that given that this is makefile based, all of the stamp files start with a dot, so that they are hidden. So maybe we should be specific about that, and that's it. Let me see. Ignore, is that right? Dot asterisk dot stamp. Builds the, okay. If you know they are always start with dot stamp, no, that's not right. If you want to be extra definitely large, stick with asterisk. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so hit ignore. Let's write it down here. Hit ignore. So hit ignore, and we can say something like ignore makefile stamp files. Dot stamp files. Okay, look at that. Now we're going to rebase all of this, because I always get this wrong. Now we're going to rebase this thing, because so we are in V9, and this builder AMD64 is built once. Make clean depends on the builder AMD64, and all of this should be done in another branch, and we are going to crunch everything. We're going to rebase everything. So this is Bookworm 2026 architecture B10. Okay, and we're going to cherry pick everything into 10, and that's it. Look at that. So now we can rebase this thing like 5, and I think we can do everything. I usually reload it, but yeah, this is already squashed here, so we can do this thing like this. So now this is quite nice. So this is Bookworm architecture B10, and look at that. What do you know? This has been built properly. Okay, so let's wrap up. So this is done on today's date. This is done on this thing, and we will see what we do the next days. Probably for the next day. So we probably want to build Debian 10 or whatever, and then we go up from there. We will see how this goes exactly. Yeah. So thank you very much for watching. Bye.